this reading is for December 2020. But before we dive into your tarot reading, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the skies this month. The first thing is that we have a beautiful new moon on the 14th. It is in Sagittarius, which is great for you because you're a fire sign too. It also is doing a happy dance with Mercury and Mars. And what that means for you is that around the 14th, it's going to be a great time for communication. It's going to be a great time to share ideas. You should feel a lot of energy and a lot of positive energy. Then, around the end of the month, on the 29th, we have a moon that's the exact opposite. It is a full moon in Cancer. And a lot of people's emotions are just going to be pretty on the surface. And it's right on the edge of the new year. So this may be a good time to do some journaling. Many of you might be feeling sort of wistful for old times. Old lang syne. But ultimately, that's fine, but you really want to be forward looking for the new year too. Just make sure you're around people that love you and support you and not people that you find challenging. All right? Okay, so let's see what the cards say for you. Ooh, so the first card that I drew is just sort of an overarching energy for you in December, and I pulled the Magician, represented in this deck by Isis. This is very powerful. I love this. There is just a sense of magic to this energy, to this card. And what it says to me is that you are absolutely capable of doing anything you put your mind to. Do not squash dreams. Do not make being practical your goal, please. Like, sometimes being practical, there's a place for it, but with the Magician, the idea is the magic that can create the reality. Okay, so let's really allow new ideas to come down for you this month. Okay, let's go a little deeper. So right in the core of your reading, we have this really fresh, vibrant, but somewhat unruly energy. And it's actually sort of in opposition to this other energy that is all about, investing in the future, making sure that you're putting, money away and that you're, being conservative with your energy and where you put your time. So basically, you may be feeling a very big push and pull between what you need and what you feel safe with and what, honestly, you have so many people in this reading, Aries, what other people want and need from you too. So make sure that during this December, where so many holidays seem to happen, that you're doing a lot of self-care and you're really not allowing other people's needs to overcome yours. Okay, so because look at this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of your reading is other people. Now this is good because that means that you've got a lot of people that care about you, but it can be challenging if you're someone who has a hard time setting boundaries. So definitely your guides are like, you must be the Daughter of Swords in December. The Daughter of Swords, she's flexible, she's young, but she's got a sword, man. And if you gotta nip something in the bud, nip it in the bud, right? This can be other people. I mean, this can be relatives. It can be neighbors. It can be work, people that you work for, work with. And it can also just be what's going on in the world. It can be the talking heads on the news. Like, make sure you're not giving that energy away if it's for you. When I look at this right in the center, this this really is oftentimes too about really being aware of where you're putting your energy. But, you know, you've got this other energy here too. You're probably going to overdo it at some point this month, but if you do, just make sure that you take some time the next day to recuperate. Because it looks like there's going to be so much negotiating going on here for a lot of you, you may have some sort of sense of like treading water or running in place. Remember, you are the magician this month. Try hard not to let external circumstances dictate your imagination, your mind. Okay, make sure that you're the one who is dictating where you put your dreams and your mind and your energy, and not external pressure. You have a really interesting outcome that sort of is out of the blue, and that's the Hierophant. And when I look at this, when there's just like so many other energies in here, and then we end up with this, it's fascinating, because what this is all about is really the higher levels of existence, right? Like, this oftentimes is finding a guru, a sage. It doesn't actually have to be a person. It can be a book. It can be a spiritual practice. Definitely you are not the one developing the spiritual practice. You're the one following it. Okay, this is very much, do not reinvent the wheel. Find the guide. And maybe for some of you, some of you Aries, what happens this month is you're like, wow, I just really want some guidance on how to negotiate life when it gets totally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And you may be looking for a more spiritual answer, you know, or even a system, some interesting system that you can use. But the point is that the help is out there, the information's out there. You don't have to develop it. You can just find it or join it, okay? Especially for those of you who maybe feel in a funk. And this is minor arcana, so this is not long-term, it's short-term, but this is major arcana. This is something that maybe has been bumming you out, leads you to a new path, again, magician, right? That lets you see things in a new way. So yeah, in terms of like relationship, there's not any really big love cards in here, but there's no big ending cards. So it just seems like the emphasis for Aries in December is really about negotiating relationships that are already there. But it looks good, you know, and this is very much all day-to-day stuff until we hit the Hierophant. Remember, you're also the magician, so you can find the magic in everyday life. Like, you don't have to do the mainstream thing. You can find your own magic. I hope you found this informative. I will be checking back probably next week with a video on the Great Conjunction on the solstice that's going to usher us into the age of Aquarius. And I'm going to be doing New Year's readings too. So check back with me, and until then, stay safe. Bye.